Hello, welcome to this Couch Talks. And the topic for today is the movement of Jupiter in Cancer. Okay, so Jupiter moved into Cancer on the 9th of June after one full year in Gemini. So, when we talk about Jupiter, we talk about the biggest planet of the solar system and a planet that back in the days where we had no technology and the only technology was to look into the sky, seeing Jupiter was a sign of good cultures, was a sign of abundance, was a sign of good harvest. So from there, Jupiter gained the name of the Great Benefic. Great because of its size, and benefic because of the significance that it will bring good harvest. So nowadays, we say that whatever Jupiter is, in which sign or energy it is, it expands. So, looking into your personal chart, you know that the sign where you have your Jupiter, it's an energy that is very easy for you and that you can make it grow. It flows easy. So, let's say that, for instance, your Jupiter is in Capricorn. You can be a very focused person and can grow projects very easily, can be really goal oriented, and the work is something that is easy for you, and the energy of work, you don't really mind to put in the work, and work comes and flows. So on a collective note, then we have the movement of Jupiter, and it stays for 1 year in each sign. So for the last year, it was expanding the energy of Gemini, meaning communication, messages, everything related to these topics. So in the last year, we saw a huge development in everything related to AIs, to messaging systems, to communication systems, new ways of expressing, new ways of communicating, new ways of passing the message, differences, movements in commerce, expansion in commerce, online commerce, all types of commerce, everything related to traveling, to moving, car system, I forgot the word in English. Deslocações. Yeah, everything related to this, because Gemini, or Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, is the messenger of the gods. It's representation of Hermes, the messenger of the gods. So everything related to these passing messages was expanded by this Jupiter in Gemini. So Jupiter in Cancer is Jupiter ruled by the moon, because the moon is the ruler of Cancer. So this Jupiter is not so mental as last year. So let's say that last year, the more mental aspects, the more logical and rational aspects were expanding. Gemini is this mind-oriented energy. And now the more emotional aspect is expanding. When we say expanding, we are not saying that it's good or bad, and that Jupiter has a filter. It doesn't. So whatever is present there, whatever the way we relate to this energy, that's what it will expand on a personal level. So of course, key, just I'm telling you now, as I teach how to read birth charts, check where you have Jupiter in your chart and check where you have Cancer in your chart, because that's what's going to be expanded. So let's talk a little bit about Cancer. Cancer as an energy represents the emotional security, represents the feeling of home. It can also relate to your physical home, but I prefer to look at it with a much more deeper way, to your internal home. So the feeling of home, of emotional stability, emotional security, feeling safe in your body, feeling safe in yourself. What is also there, and I can tell it by personal experience, is the comfort. So if you look into the crab, the animal itself, you can see already something. You can see that the crab, whenever it feels like there is presence around it, he hides. He goes away and he hides again in his little hole. So this is a little bit what happens with the Cancer energy, meaning that when we feel like we are going out of the comfort zone, we just want to hide and to go back to our own little hole and hide. So this is what happens with the Cancer energy when confronted with conflicts, with things that are unpleasant, because it has this soft, gentle approach, this mother-like energy. Like the representation is also the mother, the womb. So this comfort, warm, cozy area, and then when you have to leave it, like no, I don't want. So we see this the emotional reactivity in people that have a lot of this energy, that sometimes they get, no, I don't want, like the baby a little bit, like the babies when you take them the the thingy, or you take the toy away from the baby and then the baby is like, I don't want. So this is a little bit what happens with the Cancer energy. I'm not saying that the Cancers are babies, okay, that's not what I'm saying, but you know what I'm talking about. So it is a big learning for the Cancer, or the people with a lot of Cancer, or for Jupiter in Cancer, to learn how to set boundaries, to learn how to say no, to learn how to express your needs. So that's how you make yourself safe or unsafe in your own body. If you don't respect your needs, if you don't respect yourself, then you don't feel safe. And then doesn't matter if you hide like in a place away from the world, from the public, you will never feel safe. So this is about the emotional security we feel inside ourselves, and that happens when we own our needs, when we respect our needs, we listen, and then we respect our boundaries. And we express how we feel, we express our emotions. So it's a big thing to learn to tune into our emotional landscape, to learn to listen, to learn to respect, to learn to feel. It's not like going into spiritual bypassing of, no, everything is perfect, everything is butterflies and rainbows. No. One thing I can tell you, if you never feel your emotions or the deeper emotions that are inside yourself, you can do everything, every type of spiritual work, you will not move forward so much until you really feel what is hidden inside, until you go deeper into that, let's say, feeling of abandonment, feeling of rejection, anger, sadness, some residuing emotions. Until you feel them, they will be there, and then when you are triggered, they will come out in an unconscious way through the unconscious behaviors. So this is also what the moon talks as, that the moon doesn't have any natural light. So the moon is just the satellite, it's just a reflection. So it's really important that we address our moon, which this Jupiter will be ruled by the moon. So it's really important to address our moon so that we can start to see what is in this emotional residue. It's like an emotional container where all the emotions are stored. And then when we are triggered, it's like something's come out of that residue and we have no control over them. So that's why it's so important to go deep into that, to go deep into the emotions and to start to allow them to come out. And it's not like, I'm not saying when you get triggered, just be reactive. No. That's the moment where you pause. Okay, that's the moment where you pause, you breathe, you observe. And then when you feel calm, you will respond. And in between, you will allow yourself to feel. And if not in between, after, you will allow yourself to feel. You will choose, I want to feel this emotion. I want to feel this sadness. I want to feel this anger. But you will feel it with yourself. You will not project it into the other, the one that just triggered you, because that's just the messenger. So that's the message for this Jupiter in Cancer. I hope it helps. I will see you soon.